Hello folks, this is our cool friend Isaac, and we've just had a little discussion here prior to doing the video because he's a busy guy. I know he helps Kenny on the farm and busy at school, so unfortunately I don't get that much time with him. I get to chit-chat with him right before our interview and that's about the only time. I think we maybe played a game or two when you were over here this time, but we understand that people are busy, and he is just finishing Senior 4, going into Senior 5. And we know he's headed for university because you can look at his older brothers and sisters and they're all either graduated from university or in university right now. So we also know you've got a sponsor who's very excited about hearing about you, right? And so here's our opportunity to talk to the camera, talk to America, talk to your sponsors. So tell us first about your Senior 4. What subjects you what's the subject you like the best? You told me, but I'll let you tell the camera, and then the other subjects that you like.
Mathematics, technical drawing.
Okay, technical drawing. I think when we talked last year, we talked about designing buildings.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now on paper, have you been designing buildings in school?
Yes.
What kind of buildings?
Flat.
Flat?
Yeah.
I mean like an apartment?
Sorry?
A flat meaning where somebody lives?
Yeah.
Okay. We would usually call them an apartment. In Britain they'd call them a flat. Okay. Is it a one-story building or multiple stories?
Sorry?
One story? Just one story, or more than one story?
More than one.
More than one story. Okay. Now, when we were, Mama and I went to South Africa with some of our kids, and when we stood on a plaza, we saw a building that had 50 stories. 50 stories. They had never seen any, except in movies. They had never seen anything like it. You can hardly believe you can build a building that tall. And we told them, well, I think for South Africa, that's a pretty tall building.
Yeah.
For other places in the world, they build them much taller than that. Some places it's 100 stories tall. You can hardly see the top of it, it's so big. So start out small. Don't design a 50-story building. because they're made out of different things. I mean, a house in Uganda like this, that's made out of the beams, not the beams, the uprights, the thing that holds it up. That's made out of wood, correct?
Yeah.
Made out of wood, and the beams and the joists are all made out of wood as well.
Yeah.
When you build a 50-story building, you can't make it out of wood.
Yeah.
So now you're switching from a wood building to a steel building. So that's a big difference,
Yes.
of course, which you'll get to eventually. But you got to start out with the wood buildings. So is it kind of fun to draw a pretend building on paper?
Yeah.
Okay. And how about your mathematics? How's your math?
My mathematics is alright, and it's fun.
It's fine? Okay. Well, I was looking at Edwin Pius's notes on mathematics, and it was pretty complicated stuff, because you need trigonometry, geometry and trigonometry if you're going to be designing a building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And particularly stress levels and stuff. So if your math isn't right, your building's going to fall down.
Okay.
All righty. So when you were in school, though, I asked you about your other interest, and you said it was playing a musical instrument, right?
Yeah.
Which is what?
The big one. I used to draw to drum the big one.
Yeah. Okay. So it's drumming.
Yeah.
Right? And you said that you take a class, or you have a professor, is that right?
Yeah.
So what kind of music do you learn in class? Because I know you play in church, but in class, what kind of music do you play?
For real, just local music.
Okay. So it's African music.
Yeah.
So you don't try to copy music from a big group like Rolling Stones or something like that. You don't try to copy them.
No.
Okay. So you're focusing on African music right now.
African music.
Now, we know, we in America who do follow music, know that rhythm, of course drums provide rhythm,
Yeah.
right? That's why you have a drum.
Yeah.
And rhythms can be simple and rhythms can be very complex.
Yeah.
And African music can have very complex rhythms. That's what makes it so interesting. So how do you learn a complex rhythm? How does the professor say, okay, Isaac, today we're going to do this rhythm, and it's going to da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da, complicated, not simple, not bum, 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 okay? How do you learn that?
Sorry?
How do you learn a complicated rhythm?
You go by the beat.
You go by the beat?
Yeah.
Okay, but so he demonstrates it?
Sorry?
He demonstrates what you're supposed to do?
Uh-huh.
But again, this is not a simple beat. Not boom, boom, boom. It's da-da-dum, bum, da-da-dum, bum, bum. Maybe irregular, changing it. So is that hard to learn?
Yeah.
But your hands have to be good. You have to have very fast hands,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Do you like to drum fast?
Yeah. Even slowly.
Huh?
Even slowly.
Even slowly. Okay. All righty. Okay. But you also help Kenny on the farm, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What do you do on the farm?
We do slush.
So what we do what?
We do slush.
What's slush?
We clear the land.
Oh, clear the land. Okay. Okay.
And then we make the land flat so that we can plant our plants very well.
Okay. Now Kenny said that the price of maize was very low this year.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking maybe switching some of your property to sugarcane.
Yeah.
But he said the problem was that he would have to remove more rocks and tree trunks, stumps, because sugarcane requires a very, very flat surface.
Yeah.
Have you discussed that with Kenny?
Yes, we did.
So,
We did.
and what do you think? Is that a good idea or not such a good idea?
It is.
Huh?
It is. It is a good idea.
Now, it's because it's going to take some time and some money to do it, but then maybe you have a crop that doesn't have the price fall down.
Sorry?
Well, you suffered because the price of maize went down, and he was looking for a crop where the price doesn't fall down. Isn't that the point?
Yeah.
Okay, all righty. Well, as I say, I think you're a busy guy and you got a great, great future. I'm really delighted with your progress in school, having fun drumming. So, as I say, I know your sponsors are really, really, really excited about getting some pictures and some information from you, so they're going to like this video. So would you like to talk to your sponsors, Papa Gary, everybody in America who loves you?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your chance.
Hello, Mama and Papa. This is Isaac. I love you very well. I love you very, very, very much. I'm proud of you. I'm too happy, Lord, that He has made you to do what He's supposed to do. And I thank you very, 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 very much for my life, because it has been a long way to be what I am. And we thank you, we love you, Papa and Mom.
Okay, so you want to wave goodbye to people in America?